And
Mm,
the younger naturopaths that are coming through, when I'm talking to them, are getting almost no schooling in those things at all.
mm,
It
mm,
has to be a personal choice and something that they then follow of their own accord. So
mm,
that's
mm.
something that has concerned me for some amount of time now. And this is just personally, I don't know that anybody else, I haven't read that anybody else felt this way, but I felt that it revved me up considerably, like
Mm.
caffeine.
Ah, okay. I thought it was going to be a mushroom, like cordyceps or
Look,
something.
they're a close second or third. Look, I have an argument with myself about cordyceps versus reishi.
So, hi everyone, how you going? I've got a guest today, Gordon Carruthers from Perth. He's been in the consulting space with patients for a really long time, I think over 30 years now. And we're going to bring him on and ask him a lot of questions and get inside his head and get some of those nuggets of health topics to help you. So, how you going today, Gordon?
Oh, very well. How are you?
Yeah, I'm okay, doing all right.
That's good to
Sun
hear.
shining, nothing to complain
Beautiful,
about. Should we
beautiful day in
start
Perth.
with some those quick fire questions just to get us warmed up a
Get
bit?
the neurons firing.
Yep. So I've got a few here written down. So to get the ball rolling, have you ever encountered a miracle recovery that you still can't explain with a patient?
Whoa. There's one that I can think of. I can partially explain it. It's one that sticks in my memory.
Mm-hmm.
It was a young woman who was about 18 years of age, and this was going back, God, must be 15, maybe almost 20 years ago. Um, she came to me with a problem. She'd been diagnosed with Gardner's syndrome. If you haven't come across it, I wouldn't be surprised because I think I've seen it once.
Mm-hmm.
And it's severe polyposis of the rectum and the colon. So these people, instead of producing one or two polyps, might produce hundreds, if not thousands.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the pictures that they show of that when you see them, it's almost unbelievable. So she came to me. She was about 18 years of age. She'd been diagnosed a number of years before, and her surgeon and her medical team had said to her, "Look, um, life expectancy with this disease is about 45 years." We said, "What we've found over the years is if we give you a complete colonectomy, if we remove your bowel completely,
Mm-hmm.
excise it, then that extends life." So she had come to me saying, "Look, um, I want to get healthy. I'm about to go to America. This is my last fling before I come back and have the big operation." So we talked to her about her health generally, and when I said, "Look, I think there's maybe a chance to try a homeopathic here." I had no experience with this particular disease, but the way it presented, it sounded a lot like a particular remedy called conium. And so I said,
I haven't heard of that.
"It doesn't cost much. It's not going to have any negative effects. It's either going to work or it's not going to work. You've got nothing to lose." So I gave her the remedy, and she went away to America, and I didn't see her for, I think, probably close to a year. And when she came back, she was all smiles. And when they'd done the investigation, her bowel was completely clear.
That's
She was able
awesome.
to keep her bowel, and
Yes.
the last I saw of her, she rode happily off into the sunset. So,
Yes.
yeah, scenarios like that. Homeopathy, I've seen some things with homeopathy in particular, and I don't consider myself a homeopath of any experience, but I have seen some amazing results with homeopathy over the years.
Yeah, these are supposed to be quick fire questions, but we're into number one, and it's quite a big thing. And I had a sneaking suspicion that we would get into this, like more than
Yeah.
just herbs or evidence-based stuff, but the mysterious and the spiritual
Mm.
and the energetic, and it's quite exciting.
Well, I can be a bit verbose, so if I keep speaking, just
No, it's all good. No, it's
give me a sign, tell me to shut up.
me interviewing you. And, all right, number two, what's the most overrated health trend you've seen in the last 4 decades or 3 decades?
The most overrated, the one that I have to decide there between the most overrated and the one that annoys me the most, I think. I think the most overrated, I mean, I've heard of things like breatharianism, where people will
Oh,
survive on just purely breathing and sunlight. And I
yes,
think that's that's an interesting one.
it
I won't go
is.
into it too much. The cotton ball diet, where you soak cotton
Oh,
wool
I
balls
haven't
in
heard
orange
of that
juice
one. Oh, geez, Gordon.
and you swallow that to try and, I presume, fill yourself up. You
uh,
probably also congest your intestines and cause all manner of problems
yeah.
as well. So I think they're pretty silly.
Uh-huh.
Um, but the whole low-fat diet, all the information that came out in
Yes.
1957, Ansel Keys released, which changed the nature of how we view lipids, margarine versus butter. That one's probably the one that irks me the most, I think.
Mm. I've heard similar fructarian diet. One guy had great results in the first 2 weeks, but went downhill from there.
Yep.
Turpentine. Have you had anyone drinking
I've heard
turpentine?
that mentioned, but that's about all. I haven't actually encountered anyone.
Yeah. Okay. Next one. What's your personal morning routine?
Quickly, I'm up at about 6. I tend to exercise. I'll either go to a PT session or Pilates or walk the dog, one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Breakfast, then off to work. Supplements include things like vitamin C, alkalizers, magnesium, NAC, CoQ10. I take a lot of CoQ10.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Like
Fish oils,
300
creatine,
milligrams
curcumin,
more.
L-theanine. Experimented a little bit with methylene blue.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
that's kind of the morning routine, and then I get to work, and then I take some more supplements and go about my day.
Yeah. What about the CoQ10, like 300 milligrams or more?
I'm actually taking 600 at the moment,
Okay.
which is particularly high, but it's
It is.
apropos. I developed atrial fibrillation about maybe 5, 6 years ago in the middle of COVID.
Yes.
And to the best of my knowledge, it was after having a flu vaccine, which I didn't want to have, but had because my mother was in a nursing home and that
Oh,
was the only way I
geez.
was going to get to see her. So I took one for the team, but my body wasn't overly enthused about that.
Oh,
Um,
it's great that
so
you're
look,
taking steps now and you're aware.
well, I mean, I've started well, a website that I came across suggested that maybe higher doses were effective, and I thought, well, I'm in a position where I can, so I take 600 a day. Not that I would recommend that to patients. So I'm being my own guinea pig at the moment, but so far so good.
And it's probably ubiquinol or
It
just straight.
is, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely
Okay.
ubiquinol.
Well, I thought I was doing all right with 300. Why not just, I could double my dose there.
But yeah, well, I mean, there's not a lot of studies or research around it. So as I say,
Yeah.
I'm guinea pigging myself here.
Yeah. You
But
should see my
feeling
list
good, and
of what I take. It's just so many things on there and you can always squeeze something more in.
you can, can't you?
Okay. Next one, vegan or carnivore diet. If you had to choose only one of those.
I'm not an obsessive person, so I wouldn't choose either. But if you back me up against the wall, I'd choose vegan over carnivore.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
look, carnivore doesn't make any sense to me. Yet I've got patients who are doing it, who are doing really well out of it. And I think doing a little bit of reading, it's mainly because what they're doing, it's what they're not doing. They've cut all the processed food, they've cut the sugars, they've cut all the rubbish out of their diet. It's a weird way to detox, I guess, if you think about it from that
Mm-mm.
perspective. But at least they are reducing a whole lot of things that possibly they would have had before. And so for that reason, seem to be doing quite well. But I would choose veganism, even though I wouldn't be drawn to it.
Yes. I'm the same. Have you
Would
seen
you?
the story of the Liver King and his steroid use? Yeah.
I've seen bits of it, yeah.
Yeah, how he got found out. Anyway, what's your favorite natural product of all time out of all of the formulations of powders, capsules, or even maybe just straight herbs?
I would choose liquid herbs as my favorite. I mean, if I was only personally allowed to take one thing, it would be liquid herbal concoctions that I would take. But if I had to keep it down to one product, it would be fish oil.
Okay.
And
What
I know
about
I've said over the years to I don't know how many people, if I was only allowed to prescribe one thing, I feel fish oil covers more bases than just about anything else. It's anti-cancer, anti-inflammatory, antidepressant,
mhm.
moisturizing, good for the endothelial lining, etc., etc. So, yeah, I think probably fish oil I'd answer.
So what about if we say you can't formulate a herbal, you have to choose one herb?
Choose one herb.
Yes.
Now you're pushing it. I've got so many favorites. Look, I
Um,
think if I only had one herb, it would have to be withania.
okay. I thought it was going to be a mushroom, like cordyceps or
Look,
something.
they're a close second or third. Look, I'd have an argument with myself about cordyceps versus reishi, probably versus shiitake, but yeah, probably cordyceps, I think.
All right, let's
Or no,
get
no,
to
mushroom.
the last one. Can you tell me someone is unhealthy just by looking at them?
Um, I was thinking about this. Look, after about, I think I've seen about 25 odd thousand people. Yes, I think I can get a feel for people. I
Mm,
think, you do your 10,000 hours after a while, you get a hint, skin tone. And if I get close enough, being an iridologist, yes, most definitely. Their
mm,
eyes
mm,
will give you a very good indication of that.
mm.
Um, yeah, I'd say yes.
Yeah, excellent. All right, and then I've got a few questions for you just to draw on your experience. So, you've been working a long time as a naturopath in clinic, and you've got a ton of experience. But so, just with the industry and what we do, there's so many changes in that time. Where do
Mm.
you see the industry going in the next 5 or 10 years? Like,
I
especially
find
in
that really
Australia.
hard. Yeah, I find that really hard to answer because AI is affecting what we do. It's affecting everything in the world, not just what we're doing. So
Mm-hmm.
much at the moment that I think to look any further than a couple of years ahead is, becomes a little bit unknown. Where we are at the moment, I'm seeing AI creeping in terms of some of the programs and things that we use. Um, but I'm also seeing people starting to use it in terms of choosing practitioners. It becomes
Ah,
a first port of call. So they might,
yes.
if they have a condition, they'll Google it initially, go through AI, and if they get a reasonable answer, then they might say, okay, who should I see?
Mm-hmm.
So I can see that from a marketing perspective, there are seminars and the like coming out at the moment about how we actually word what we do so that it might be more favorable towards AI. We need to
Yeah.
be clear and concise, and
Mm-hmm.
we need to be able to specifically say we can do certain things so that AI will choose us, so that that's the recommendation that goes to the patient. So I think that's going to change things considerably. I'd like
Yes.
to think our industry won't be, well, where I see naturopathy going is down, it feels like it's following the medical model at the moment. And my big concern with that is that the what I call the arts are being squeezed out. So
Mm-hmm.
homeopathy, iridology, a lot of the touch therapies like kinesiology, because they don't have a scientific background, we're starting to see the university sort of push them to one side, I feel. And
Mm-hmm.
the younger naturopaths that are coming through, when I'm talking to them, they're getting almost no schooling in those things at all.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be a personal choice and something that they then follow of their own accord. So that's
Mm-hmm.
something that has concerned me for some amount of time now.
Mm.
Look, to give you an idea, about 15, 20 years ago, I decided that myself and Elspeth, one of the other teachers at one of the other colleges, we were both teaching iridology, contacted a man called Leonard Melmar in America, who
Oh,
was a
yes.
sclerology teacher,
Yes, I've
and
got
asked
his
him to
book.
come to Perth and
Thanks to you.
teach. And he must have taught 150 people. I could count on one hand the amount of people that I know that use sclerology at the moment. So
Mm.
whether that's just that was 15 years ago and a lot of people have dropped out of the industry or what it is, I don't really know. But it's concerning enough that I'm considering actually teaching like-minded naturopaths in Australia, particularly the ones that are around me, the basics of iridology and sclerology so they have an
Mm.
understanding of it.
That sounds like a wonderful idea.
Just got to
Yes.
find the time.
Yes. Something I love about you is you're grounded in that traditional philosophy and really individualized, and I just see as each year goes on more and more practitioners are getting lost to those protocols,
Yeah.
especially so many more graduates, and they're getting taught, as you say, they're missing out on those other modalities, and then
Mm.
they're prescribing to a protocol or a pill. This pill is good for this, and it's just reverting in a sense back to that pharmaceutical model
Yeah.
where you just prescribe the lung formula tablet and you take three of
Well,
those if you've got a cough.
Well, I think if we go back to the Rockefeller and sort of Rothschild's pattern in the past with the pharmaceutical industry, that's exactly what they would like to happen. And more as I mean, I'm not sure when you went through Shannon, but when I went through college in the mid 90s, there were three colleges in Perth that you could go to. Slightly different aspects and ways of teaching. Now there's one. If you don't accept that, then you don't get trained, basically.
Yeah, yeah. I went to Pant as well in Perth, but then I finished in Melbourne, Southern School of Natural Therapies, and that was started by Blackmores and
Yes.
I forget the other guy, but they were very traditional. I loved it. The pharmacologist was in his 70s, I think, and talking about prescribing cocaine back in the time and
No,
different
well.
things, but really traditional practitioners. But they got pressured, and in that financial model to change, and then it got sold out to the Sikh group, and
Yeah.
it's just really quite sad how it's. I mean, they're feeling pressure. They have to. They can't continue in those. It was a not-for-profit originally, They
Yeah.
can't follow in those because they have to compete against other colleges and things with marketing. And there was another school, which I won't say the name, and they were ruthless. And
Yeah.
I heard conversations going on where they were saying the other ones didn't care how much they would spend millions of dollars because they were going to destroy the other little colleges. Um,
Well, possibly successful.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That one still exists, but yeah, it's run differently. Yeah, they got rid of because I did homeopathy. They got rid of that, just as you said, and there was something else they got rid of as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anything that they can't kind of doesn't fit within the paradigm, they tend to change, don't they?
they do. Yeah, and as you say, the Rockefeller model behind it. He, where how deep do we get into that? But it is running behind it as that consciousness or machine or and all those people placed in the system to
If we get
guide
into that, this conversation is going to go on for
it.
quite some time. It'll become
Yes.
heated.
Yeah. And I think you would agree that it's better to focus on creating the future that we want and let that dissolve and be destroyed, as I feel is happening now. It's crumbling and truth's coming out, and we just
Very
continue
much
on
so.
our path to
I
what we
mean,
want and we see the future.
I don't have a lot of time for the American government at the moment, but um, the destabilizing nature of it has kind of cracked some of those glass walls, I think, and we're hearing people come out and talking about things that they wouldn't have in the past. So
Mm,
I keep likening it to the red pill, blue pill from the Matrix. It feels like I've swallowed the red pill, and it feels like a lot of other people have now too. So, but it means a lot less trust in the organizations that have been governing us for a long
mm.
period of time.
Yeah, we're definitely asking more questions rather than taking it on face value, which is exciting. And I through 2020, 2021, I took the black pill, and uh,
You
and
shut down for a
I've
little while.
got I've survived, but I won't be
Yeah,
going back there anymore. I just
no,
got my laser eyes focused on where I want to go, and
good.
yeah, and we know that what we do, it's just there's so much power in it, and that's what
Mm,
threatens them. They
yeah.
see us as a threat, and yeah, it's very exciting. All right, let's go on to the next question. Let's talk about some fads. So
Okay.
I'm thinking about like Candida diet. There's carnivore diet. What other ones have you seen?
The Candida diet was a big one in the 90s. I mean,
Mm,
everybody had Candida. Everybody was being treated for Candida. And there was a lot of theories about how Candida rolled. Um, Thankfully, that's all settled a little bit, thankfully. Um, Look, I think the big one we're seeing at the moment is on the internet in particular is that people are concerned about parasites suddenly, that parasites are the cause of just about everything, including cancer, which I
yes.
think is getting mixed up a little bit with the fact that ivermectin and fenbendazole are sort of coming to the fore at the moment, and because of their use against parasites and now use against cancers, that maybe is confusing people. I don't know, but I'm
Yeah, it
getting
doesn't
asked
work on.
regularly at the moment for parasite cleanses from people.
Yes. Yeah, and in a way, through the years, has it changed so much of how we treat them? Because whether it was candida or whether it was the terrain or the pathogens, putting them in a basket as parasites, candida. But
Mm.
I see what you're saying. There's also two things with the fenbendazole and the ivermectin, which I've got a
Mm.
lot of experience with as well, which I won't get into. But I was reading exactly that. There are the people, the laymen saying, oh, it's parasites because they're working, but it's not. It's just the pathways that the cancer cells grow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
but
just
it
happens
is
to be
very
similar
effective.
to a parasite.
Yeah. Thank
Mm.
God for Indian pharmaceutical online ordering.
Indeed.
Not that
Keeping
I
our
would ever
mind
suggest
adjusted.
that in Australia because someone watching and the TGA is out for a lot of people. Um,
Yeah.
have you
Although
heard?
I'm actually starting to see there's a couple of doctors in Perth now who actually will recommend ivermectin and fenbendazole for cancer treatment.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, strange,
Brilliant.
but yeah, there's a couple.
And during COVID, there was the ones I took some ivermectin from a doctor once in 2020. Have you heard of Kumbo, the frog medicine at all? It's,
I don't think I have. No.
that's a friend who's an acupuncturist, or was an acupuncturist. He was using it, and it's really promising. Australia is the only country which has made it illegal. You can use it anywhere in the world. It's
It must be useful then.
yes, it's I think something around like 25 peptides in it have been
Hmm.
identified, and they've patented them in the US. So
Okay.
they're as always they're happy to take something, make a drug out of it, sell it, but the actual frog medicine they'll make that illegal. But Australia's even New Zealand you can use it, but
Okay.
as soon as you're over the
I'll,
target, they stomp it out. No, you can't use that.
I'll have a
It's
Google
dangerous.
as soon as we finish.
You're gonna have a look at it. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
There's so many great things. Like, you mentioned methylene blue as well.
Yeah, methylene blue. I must admit, I discounted initially when I first heard about it. I thought that just sounds dangerous. But then I had a bit of time, did a little bit of research and reading. I thought, okay, maybe there is something to this. So I
Mm,
bought some, and dosage instructions are a little bit hazy
mm.
depending on who and what you're trying to be or trying to do. Anything from
Yes.
8 drops a day to 180 drops a day. So I went gentle. Interestingly, and this is just personally, I don't know that anybody else, I haven't read that anybody else felt this way, but I felt that it revved me up considerably, like
Mm.
caffeine.
Oh,
So I started on what I thought was a fairly inert dosage of 10 drops, went to 15, and then started reducing down and got down to about 5 drops of it, but still felt that it was pretty feisty. So for me, something to be used in particular situations, maybe, but I don't know if it's something I could take every day.
that's really
I hear
interesting.
a lot of good reports about it. As long as it seems to be, the important thing is the quality of the product, that it's been made properly and that comes from a reputable source.
Mm.
Um, Incredibly messy stuff. You end
Yes,
up
don't
with
want to
blue
get on the
tongue, blue
bench.
lips, and someone with a grey beard. It's particularly dangerous. Uh, and yeah, not good on white bench tops or any. So yeah, it's something you have to be. It's as dangerous as turmeric is. Uh,
Yeah,
that seems to have a special affinity for getting outside of the bottle.
yeah,
But yeah, I think it definitely warrants further investigation. But yeah, somewhere down the line, I think.
yeah. That's another one that TGA is clamped down on because there was a. I have one on the bench. It's triple strength. A friend got it for me. I can't remember
Hmm.
the name of the place, but they got shut down. Just a lot of, not necessarily that it's illegal or anything. I think they just
Hmm.
put a lot of pressure on them. And back to
Yeah.
my friend who did the frog medicine. He was doing places, and there was a cancer clinic in South Australia, and two practitioners there were having a lot of success. Well, known all around with this Cumbo frog medicine, and what they did is they just put the legal pressure on them, and he got his acupuncture license taken away for until they were doing the investigation. So he
Oh.
couldn't work, and that's how they were pressuring him financially. He
Hmm.
lost all his income. They've got unlimited funds, and then at the end of it, said, "Well, no, you can't mention it." There was a lot of restrictions as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite tragic. But methylene blue, similar
Yeah.
story. I just did it until I cycle it on and off. That bottle
What's
there
your
is
opinion on it?
almost running out. But if I take enough where my urine turns green, I know I've got enough. For me,
Hmm.
I noticed the brain fog lift,
Okay.
which, yeah, was the most noticeable. I wish I got the rev. Maybe I don't need it. Maybe I've got already got enough energy.
Well, yeah, I still don't quite understand why I got as much as I did.
Yes.
But certainly, yeah, it felt like I was being, certainly like caffeine, I think is the closest thing I can describe it to.
Yeah, maybe I drink too much coffee already.
I don't miss coffee. I mean, I have my coffee, don't worry. But the methylene blue would take it above that again.
Yeah. Have you heard much about peptides lately?
I'm hearing bits and pieces. The one that intrigued me most is Retatrutide, which is a
The weight
drug from
loss.
America, I believe. I'm only hearing it kind of secondhand through the internet. Uh, but to my great surprise, I was just doing a bit of research on it and wondering because they're saying it's the next. Well, you've got your GLP-1s in the form of Ozempic, then you've got Wegovy, Mounjaro, and that this is going to be the next one. To my understanding, it hasn't been approved in America yet, and yet I know from one of my patients that you can buy it from the right sort of character in a gym in Australia if you want to. So it's already made its way here, being utilized to help weight loss, is my understanding.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
and people are seeing fairly dramatic amounts of weight being lost, 20, 30 kilos, that sort of thing.
Yes.
I don't know much more about it than that, but yeah, the fact that people are becoming amateur biochemists is intriguing to say the least.
Yes, yeah, there's definitely risks in a lot of them. I see pages with a list of a good 50 different new emerging ones
Mm.
as well. I'm particularly interested in there's one called MOTS-C, and it works on the
Yeah,
mitochondria because we know mitochondrial disease is the basis for a lot of things. But there was a lot of
yeah.
research with cancer as well, but I can't get my hands on it. Yeah, and I got actually scammed. So there's one for all the people watching.
Yeah,
Got scammed, lost $500.
that's not good.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I haven't heard of anybody who's. I've read about MOTS-C as well and heard its mitochondrial benefits, but don't know anybody who's actually physically using it or anyone who can get their hands on it. So,
Yeah, I
yeah,
know a lot of people in the US, and there's so many US places selling them, and no one will ship it to me. Yeah,
interesting.
I think we should end it here because I don't like to make them too long, these videos. But I really
Yep.
appreciate you taking your time out of your busy schedule and coming on, and really appreciate you sharing all that information with people watching this. Where can people find you?
People can find me at 137 Edward Street in Perth. We're near HBF Stadium, just behind. Yeah, here in basically 9 till 5 most days. So yeah,
I
by all
love
means,
that,
come on.
Gordon. Traditional naturopath gives the street address. What about your webpage?
But also a very old traditional naturopath. Well, look, if yeah, I guess www.pnhc.com.au,
Excellent.
and that
And
will give
then
you a little bit of background, tell us a bit about our history.
excellent. So you're not that old, and you're taking all these wonderful supplements and herbs and things and biohacking your body.
Yeah, doing my
Excellent.
best.
Thank you so much, Gordon, and
Lovely to
I will
speak to
chat
you.
with you soon. You too.